Hello again, CSU fans. It's time for another Buccaneer update on CSUsports.com. Rob Walden along with head women's basketball coach Julie Goodenough. Coach, it's been a while since we've talked, 2 weeks. You guys have been very busy during that time, a 2-2 record. Over that time period, victories over South Carolina State and UNC Greensboro, losses to two very good teams, North Carolina and Clemson. Talk about what you did well over the last 2 weeks and what you guys struggled with that led to the 2-2 record.
Well, we had a really busy weekend. The weekend just after Thanksgiving Day, we had 3 games in 4 days, and I think our players really enjoyed that. You know, just playing games and not having much practice. Played really well at home against South Carolina State. Really felt like our players maybe turned a corner on rebounding and defensive toughness. I think that we carried that to Chapel Hill and played a good defensive game against Chapel Hill and just played with a lot of courage. Offensively, our three-point shooters were really on. We set a new record against the Tar Heels and made 17 threes. So, you know, offensively, we were able to really take any shots that we wanted. Defensively, I thought our players did a great job. I mean, North Carolina is one of the top teams in the country, and really did a good job defending their 6'4", 6'5" post players. Their guards were able to penetrate a little bit on us, but I was really proud of our defensive effort in that game. We had 1 game to prepare after that to get ready for Greensboro, and it turned out to be a good knockdown drag out, and we left there with a 2-point victory. So I was really proud of our kids. It took a lot of physical effort, but to have 3 completely different game plans in a 4-day period, really proud of our players how they just responded to that.
And then, you know, a 9-point loss to North Carolina, 76-67. You guys played really well, ranked 4th in the country at the time. To be able to hang in there with a top 5 team like that shows how far this team has come in such a short period of time.
Well, and just to go into an arena like that, playing a top-ranked opponent, and everyone in this part of the country understands, you know, how successful North Carolina has been, and you know they'll be one of the top teams in the ACC, and they'll be a top-ranked team in the NCAA tournament. Our players approached that game with just fearlessness and courage, and you know, as a coach, I was really proud of the way that they approached that game and just went out and gave it their very best shot.
The Clemson game maybe didn't go quite as well, a 104-52 loss. Talk about some of the things that you guys will be working on this week, kind of in the wake of that game.
Well, we had a really competitive first half. Well, we started the game 8-0. We're down 8-0, and our defense forced some turnovers and created some momentum for us. We weren't taking very many three-point shots in the first half, but our defense really kept us in the game and provided momentum. You know, we'd force a turnover, we'd get a good block out and a defensive rebound. But in the second half, we lost defensive intensity, and our offense was struggling. Looked like we had not shot in a while. But really proud of the effort in the first half. You know, I wish we could have duplicated that in the second half, but we just really kind of lost our focus in the second half.
Of course, Katie Toll is leading the nation in the most recent statistical compilation in three-pointers made. What does that say about that, about the team that she's leading in such a high category?
Well, in order for Katie to get the three-point shot, she's got to have 4 teammates on the floor doing their job and setting screens for her, pushing the ball down the floor, blocking out, getting defensive rebounds so we can get an offensive possession. So even though it's Katie's name at the top of the list, that's, I think, a great example of just our team working together and executing offensively.
And then the next game for you guys is December 18th at home against Bethune-Cookman. You guys play twice more before the Christmas holiday. Talk about some of the things that you're working on as you get ready for the game against the Tigers on the 18th.
Well, since we have finals this week and next week, we have that long break before our next game, and it's perfect timing. We need some practice time right now. You know, just get back to the fundamentals. We've got to work on ball handling, passing, defensive stance, just little things to try to fine-tune our game. We're going to just walk through a lot of things, you know, talking about set plays, defensive strategies, and just make sure that we have good physical practices in the next 2 weeks, but good mental workouts as well.
Coach, best of luck during the week of practice, and we'll see you on the 18th against Bethune-Cookman.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's head coach Julie Goodenough of the CSU women's basketball team. Thanks a lot for joining us on another edition of the Buccaneer Update. We'll see you next time right here on CSUsports.com.